So, Michael Avenatti is back in the news for some fucking reason because he said some dumb shit on national TV. And you know what he said was pretty fucking dumb. Y'all can go watch the clip. It'll be available in the description box. But yeah, here's a hot fucking take for you. Why the fuck are we giving Michael Avenatti any goddamn time on any platform? He is literally one of the most useless people in American politics today. It's like it's a it's a ladder, right? Like you got Michael Avenatti near the top. Then you've got Don Lemon somewhere up there. Wolf Blitzer, Michael Smirkanish, Chuck Todd. But, you know, actually, listing off those names, it actually makes me realize that, no, Michael Avenatti might be worse than all of those people, because Michael Avenatti is, would it be too on the nose to call him a star fucker? Because I feel like that's the best term to describe him. And I can think of no better way to accentuate that point than just go watch the fucking verbal slap fight that occurred on Tucker Carlson's show between, you know, Tucker Carlson and Michael Avenatti. It was just a bunch of fucking WWE word salad bullshit. But the producers at Fox knew Michael Avenatti was a hot name for some reason. They didn't really care what the reason was. They just wanted to have him on to say some stupid shit. And he certainly says some stupid shit, but kind of fed into the problem. Fuck Michael Avenatti. He's worthless. Another example of him having a platform that he doesn't deserve is at Politicon. He was a fucking keynote speaker at Politicon. He was fucking talking to Henry Winkler about Russia. Now, I wasn't there because I don't have the disposable income to fly all the way to Los Angeles to go to Politicon. But I can imagine that room was either completely empty or completely disinterested, which you might as well count that as an empty room if nobody fucking cares about what you're saying. Okay. So I think what like annoys me so much about him is stuff I've already touched on, that he's just a star fucker and not really worth anybody's time, but it's because, like, people are trying to make him a thing, and for some reason this one is sticking. Like, I remember back in 2017, or maybe it was early 2018, I honestly can't remember, when they had the State of the Union address, and the Democratic response was from fucking Joe Kennedy. And many people's reactions to that were, who the fuck is Joe Kennedy? And yet, despite that being the reaction from most people, you know, you had MSNBC, CNN, even Fox News, honestly, saying shit like rising Democratic superstar, Joe Kennedy. Who the fuck is... what? This fucking dipshit Joe Kennedy was a rising Democratic superstar? Well, if he was rising, he got his fucking dick kicked in pretty quickly, didn't he? And, you know, Joe Kennedy fizzled out. Nobody gave a fuck about him. Nobody gives a fuck about him. And yet, at every logical endpoint for Michael Avenatti's 15 minutes of fame to end, I know that was a bit of a redundant sentence, but bear with me. At every point where it should have ended, it didn't. Every single fucking point it should have ended, it didn't. His involvement in the Brett Kavanaugh thing, and how he potentially fucked up the whole thing, that's fine. We're moving on from that. I mean, it happened, and it should be a stain on his credibility, but it's cool. Whatever. Moving on. His WWE verbal diarrhea with Tucker Carlson probably should have made both of them look like clowns, but you know, Michael Avenatti especially. His most recent comments that are in the description box. I mean, it probably won't disqualify him from any Sunday brunches at the country club. I'll say that much. And I don't think I made this point very clear. I don't give a shit about what he said that's in the description box, right? I don't care about that. It's dumb and stupid, but the crux of this whole thing is I just can't fucking stand how people are trying to make Michael Avenatti a thing. Michael Avenatti is not gonna be a fucking thing. He's fucking Stormy Daniels' lawyer, who fucked his way to the top. Or, well, yeah, I guess the top. I mean, he's on TV. It just fucking pisses me off. And to really drive this point home, I wanna note that this is not necessarily a problem with the quote unquote liberal media. This is also a problem with right-wing outlets, such as Fox News. We already covered them. I don't want to, I don't really want to bore you with that. But more specifically, Ben Shapiro actually floated Michael Avenatti as the guy that the Democrats should run in 2020 for president. Now, after Michael Avenatti was proven to be a fucking clown, I really don't know how he wasn't proven to be a clown prior to this, prior to Ben's statements, but after it was definitive that he was proven to be a clown, his fans went on the fucking defense. Like, no, dude, it's just a joke. He wants the Dems to lose. Fucking trolled you, libtard. I mean, you couldn't come up with a better fucking joke? I mean, look, Michael Avenatti is definitely a joke. He's definitely a retard. But you couldn't come up with a better fucking joke? And I don't even buy that shit. Like, because Ben Shapiro was sucking him off pretty good. And like there are like more humorous names that get a rise out of the right wing. Oprah, Tom Hanks apparently has been floated as a presidential nominee by some dumbasses. The list could probably go on, but a final point on that on the Ben Shapiro thing, and his fans playing defense for him. Like, oh, it's just a joke, bro. You know, he actually knows shit about politics. Well, a brief aside, but I don't think he does. I think he's kind of a dunce. But to the point I'm making specifically, dude, you can't fucking say it was a joke because he wasn't making one. He's not a comedian. Like, if this was Steven Crowder, I could maybe jibe with that. Though Steven Crowder has legitimately said that Hitler was a liberal on multiple occasions, he still kind of plays as a comedian. So, you know, he has that card in his back pocket. Ben Shapiro really doesn't. He's supposed to be the serious guy on the right. This isn't to say that, you know, political commentators can't make jokes. That's not really what I'm getting at. I'm just saying, that wasn't one of them. It just wasn't. Okay, what else do I need to say about Michael Avenatti? I mean, I've already bitched and moaned about him being at Politicon as a fucking keynote speaker. I already got annoyed with his rise to superstardom, or rise to industry-planted superstardom, rather. Him saying dumb shit, but more importantly, his saying dumb shit being force-fed as, like, serious political commentary from a guy who is like a serious political wonk when really he's just a dumbass. Yeah, I mean, what else I gotta say? I guess that's that. You know, honestly, I was gonna write out a big long script for Michael Avenatti and kind of trying to form my thoughts a little better, but he doesn't fucking deserve it. He doesn't fucking deserve it. He is such a useless cretin that, like, why would I fucking waste my time writing shit down for him? And sadly, I know that this shit ain't gonna work. Michael Avenatti's still gonna be in the news. They're gonna be saying stupid shit that nobody should care about. Not that I have an issue with people saying stupid shit. It's just, yeah, what? Okay. Already touched on that. Don't need to do it again. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, he's a fucking grifter that strong-armed his way into the room, into the national conversation, and for some reason people are jumping on board with this. Now, this isn't to say that the average Joe is jumping on board with this. I'm sure there's plenty of people who have a similar opinion to me, and that, like, oh my god, like, Michael Avenatti, who fucking cares? Go away. But sadly, not everyone does. And fuck them. Yeah, I'm gonna go. This has been long enough. I gave Michael Avenatti his 15 minutes, and hopefully he will fuck off. He won't, but saying it makes me feel better.